Hi, I'm Marsh from StrataGames, and today we're playing some Golgari Gardens. This is the first deck that I ever played in Pauper, and one that I still enjoy. It's pretty much just a pile of removal and card draw, with just a couple win cons. Of course, the name of the deck is because of Colony Garden being a great land that we're able to play. It's a land that taps for mana, but it also gives us a plant token that we're able to sacrifice to our Eviscerator's Insight or Fanatical Offerings for additional value. Or we can just chump block with it in order to survive, as we are a control deck that wants to go to the late game. Other cards we can bargain, other cards we can sacrifice with the Offerings and the Insights, some Tithing Blades for removal, Ichor Wellsprings for the most card advantage, some Alembus, which can also gain us a lot of life. We're also playing a couple Campfires for more life, and Spell Bombs for Graveyard Hate. A couple Bogs as well for some hate. And then, like I said, pile of removal. In addition to the Tithing Blades, we have 4 Defile, 4 Cast Down, 2 Snuff Out, a Spinning Darkness, and 3 Crypt Rats. Any type of removal we should need for any situation. Then for our actual win cons, we have Avenging Hunter, a couple Thorn of the Black Rose, Pulse of Marasa to get back any of our creatures. We also have 3 Troll of Khazad-dûm, which can just be a land or a threat in the late game, grabbing us our green source, a swamp, or a Witch's Cottage. Sideboard, we just have 4 Duress, some Drown in Sorrow, Fairy Macabre, Weather the Storm, and Troublemaker Oof. So let's take this for a league and see how we do. Thanks to Card Market for sponsoring this video. You can now pick up my comprehensive guide to Esper Cryo Affinity, including 38 sideboard matchups, and I just put out a big update for my Black Sack guide, including a slightly different deck list. I began offering coaching sessions if you're interested in taking your Pauper game to the next level, and I'm accepting deck donations, so if you desperately want me to play a deck that I usually wouldn't play, something like Elves, then you can make me do that for a small fee. I've started posting a league video every single day, not to mention streaming at least a couple times a week on Twitch, but I'm not going to be able to keep that up forever unless I can get a little bit more help from the community. Any of the ways I've just mentioned are great ways to help me out, or you can even subscribe and support me on a monthly basis. No lands is going to be a mulligan, and this one's alright. Kind of tough to figure out what to get rid of. Crypt Rats could be really good. Campfire could be good if we're against a burn deck. I think we'll get rid of the rats. Could also be really greedy and get rid of one of our lands, but I don't love that. Looks like we might be against a mirror, or I would assume some sort of pestilence list, which means that the Campfire could be good only for decking, really. I mean, if we're against pestilence, the life gain is relevant, but Black Gardens mirror match, not really what you want to see right away. Play Alembus here, and I guess I'll just keep Bog. They have some relevant things, but if we're control matchup, the important thing is just hit your lands every single turn, so we're going to try to do that. They play Alembus, scry to the top, play a Garden, and play a Swamp, and I think we'll just pass, holding up Offering and Troll. They play a Wellspring. We will sack the plant to draw 2. Since we didn't draw a land, we'll sack the Troll to get a Swamp. Do get a Crypt Rats, Tithing Blade. Might as well cast a Tithing Blade, eat up a plant. I guess I could save it for if they sacrifice both of them, and then we could potentially get like a Thorn or something with it, but a Spell Bomb, probably not necessary. They just activate Campfire. No card draw on the end step or anything. Bajuka Bog. They're going to play a Crypt Rats. We get another Campfire. Gonna draw 2. We get a Swamp. I will play a couple Campfires, I suppose. Start using those as well. They have Avenging Hunter. I knew that was probably coming. We do have cast downs for it, but of course we'll need to then get a way to get through. I mean, I could double cast down and play Crypt Rats. Doesn't feel amazing. I can't even do that this turn. So let's just Lembus, looking for our creatures. There's the Avenging Hunter. So I'll cast down their Hunter. I think I'll just play the Bog to get rid of it. And then next turn I can cast down their Crypt Rats and then Hunter of our own. Although I guess they're probably going to buff the plant here if they're smart. Yep. Swing for 3. They also have a Thorn. So I could just slam Hunter. Feels like it might actually be better to just Crypt Rats and wipe the board. And the following turn I can play the Hunter. That means they keep the initiative on extra turn. Spell Bomb. I could just play Hunter, but then they just take it right back. Yeah, I think it's better to Crypt Rats. While they're tapped out, we'll just Crypt Rats for 3. And rather than use the Campfire, I'm going to get the Spell Bomb down so that if they have a Pulse of Marasa or something, I can at least prevent them from getting the Thorn or Crypt Rats again. They have a Witch's Cottage, targeting a Thorn. Well, I guess I'll Spell Bomb that, and if they have like a Pulse, they can still keep it around, but it looks like they don't. They have an Insight. and an offering. Spell Bomb of their own. They got to discard a couple cards. Spinning Darkness and Snuff Out. So we get to deploy our Hunter. I'm sure it's going to eat a removal spell, but we do get the initiative. And just pass the turn. No reason to do much else. We are a lot lower in value than they are. That's for sure. Tithing Blade, a bit unfortunate. They have a Crypt Rats. Map onto it, we're just going to cast it down. They crack their Spell Bomb. I probably have to scry here. Counters don't do us any good. The trap isn't that good. I can scry and still draw the card if I really want. So I think we need to find some card draw. I could just slam a Troll, but it dies almost 100%. We have 7 cards in hand. I guess we'll keep it. It makes it so they at least have to spend some removal on it, as opposed to, well, they could probably easily cast this down and also play like a Hunter or something, but it's possible they only have like 1 Hunter. We're only playing 1 after all. They have another Tithing Blade. They have a Troll. Snuff Out does not help there. Gain some life. We get to either make a Treasure or Goad. I'd rather draw the card next turn, so assuming I get there. Which is Cottage does not do much. I will play it, but I don't even want to get this Troll back. I'd rather craft it, but I mean, they're going to take the initiative. We're going to probably lose here. Unfortunately. We do have a lot of life gain to make it take a little while, and they're already a couple minutes lower than we are on clock. They play a Wellspring, flip their own Tithing Blade. We'll crack a Lembas, activate our Campfires. Drain them for 1. We get a Swamp. Pass the turn. They draw a bunch of cards and go into the Undercity, hitting another Troll. We'll take 6, and they flip another Tithing Blade and a Lembas. We'll crack our Lembas, activate Campfire, gain a bunch of life. Let's see if we get a Crypt Rats. I can't even kill this because it's 8 damage that I would need. So I'd be 1 short. That's no good. Drain them for 1. We get an Eviscerator's Insight, which we will crack a map with. We do get the Crypt Rats. Of course, I sacrificed all those Lembuses, so I don't have much to draw from here. We will Insight a Campfire, Colony Garden. Now I can flashback an Insight. Next turn I'd have 8 mana to kill the Trolls. I'm not dead this turn, so unless they have like a Crypt Rats of their own. Although I guess Crypt Rats is going to deal us. They're going to Defile. We're about to take 15. Okay, we can afford to not Campfire, I think. We'll draw 2. I mean, it's going to be cutting it close, but we got to do what we got to do. I guess if I just get a couple cast downs, I could take these out the old-fashioned way. Or Defiles. I don't think I've seen any of those so far. They swing for 15. Insight a Lembas. Play a Wellspring. Another Lembas. They play a Tithing Blade just to have it down so they can flip it later. Discard a card. We drain them for 1. So if I Crypt Rats do 8 damage, then I die to their Sepulchers. So I can't do that, which means I'm going to have to cast this down and then do Crypt Rats for 5, and then I can also activate Campfire. Alright, that's what we're doing. Might as well do this in their upkeep. Cast down, we're going to activate for 5. They're going to sack the small troll, we're going to cast down the other one. Campfire, we'll go to 7, then on their upkeep down to 5. Dead to a Crypt Rats for sure. But theoretically, if they can't kill us and they can't put a creature on board and then we like draw a Thorn of the Black Rose, we reclaim Monarch, and the next turn we could reclaim Initiative. Like we could still win this one, theoretically. They do, which is Cottage back a Troll, and then just play another one. Map onto it. Of course they have a Troll on top. Draw from Monarch. We drain for 1. Spell Bomb. 7. Might be a waste to gain the 2 life here, but we're going to go for it. So then I'm going to Offering the Campfire. Bojuka Bog. Okay, Bog means I can play Spell Bomb and then crack it. I guess I could just crack the map here. But I draw an extra card from the Spell Bomb. Let's just do that. There's a Defile, finally. And we will Defile the Troll. I guess actually if I had gone for the Bojuka Bog and then they try to Campfire, then I could have Spell Bombed them. That would have actually been better. That was a huge mistake. Because then they could actually mill out. I was kind of forgetting about that possibility. Let's play a Wellspring. I mean, theoretically they could still mill out, but they have 14 more turns before that's going to happen, so yeah, I don't know why I cracked the Spell Bomb there. I mean, I do. I wasn't thinking about that, and I wanted to draw the extra card, but that was a big mistake. Definitely could cost us the game. They're going to the Trap. So we're down to 1. Okay, so we kind of need some way to gain life. Pulse of Marasa. I mean, Spinning Darkness technically can if they play a non-black creature, which they do right there, but they would have to not have a way to sacrifice it either. Oh, and they immediately Tithing Blade it, so that's not going to work. Colony Garden. Let's go for a draw 3. Another Defile. We'll make sure that works, hopefully. They sacrifice it to gain some life. We play a Lembas. See a Wellspring. I don't need that. Snuff Out is no good. We'll sack the Lembas and play out the Troll, I suppose. We go to 2 here. We still probably would have died to these Tithing Blades even if we hadn't exiled their graveyard, or if we had been able to exile their graveyard, but they would only have about 3 turns left, and so if I could just hold on 3 turns, that might be okay, and we still have a bunch of insights, so definitely still not the right play that we made. They play a Wellspring here. They go for an Insight. I haven't seen a Crypt Rats. 2 of them got exiled. They could only be playing 2. Bajuka Bogas, that's a bit annoying. No, I think they saw one with the Throne of the Dead 3, and then it got shuffled back in. So we probably will just die to a Crypt Rats, even if we can hold on any longer. Although with our graveyard getting exiled, we only have 1 draw here. I guess some maps as well. They discard a bunch. There's the Pulse of Marasa right after we lost our graveyard. Counter on this, maybe. Crypt Rats into the grave. And a Wellspring into the grave. I can pulse back this Crypt Rats, which I'm sure they'll spell bomb. If they F6'd, then I'm not dead yet. I could play it. It can't block this, actually, so I need to Spinning Darkness our own guy here, even though I just made it a 2-3. But this gains us enough life to survive another turn. They go to the Undercity again, but they don't hit a creature. Swing for 6, we're down to 3. Play a Swamp, and they found the Crypt Rats. So we die. Alright. Definitely on the back foot for the majority of that game. We get Duresses, Troublemaker Oof, maybe Fairy Macabre. We do not need Snuff Out or Spinning Darkness. We do want some removal. Tithing Blades are decent. Campfires are necessary. Not sure we need this many cast downs even, though. They did get their guys back a lot. Defiles are probably going to kill anything. Let's cut a couple of these. We just want all the card advantage, I think. Yeah, if we Spellbombed there, they still would have had the Crypt Rats in their deck. They probably could have drawn 2 and killed us, but again, it's haunting me a little bit. I mean, Tithing Blade isn't amazing, but it's still removal. It can hit a creature that's relevant, and it can flip and become relevant, as we saw. Crypt Rats can just be a win con. We don't want to take out any emblems. Maybe the Macabres are not very good. Then again, they can also just be a creature that can beat down or eat a Tithing Blade or something. And it's a free spell, kind of, so if we just draw too many cards, it can be okay. I think we will cut the cast downs. Maybe we don't need the Pulse, because it's susceptible to graveyard removal, which they're going to have a lot of. Maybe we'll cut a Tithing Blade. I don't know. We'll keep this one. It's possible we just want to be as controlling as possible, so maybe I should keep all our good removal in, because we're 5 minutes ahead on clock. So if I just play a slower control game like we just did, even if I lose, even if I'm losing the game, it would maybe be okay, but we get a Swamp here, so let's just play a Wellspring. Duress is decent, but unless we draw a land next turn, we're cycling Troll for a Swamp and then probably holding up Offering. I thought about offering the plant so they couldn't have Tithing Bladed us, but that's fine. I could double Duress them here. I think I kind of want to Duress. 2 offerings. Yeah, I guess we're going to take double Offering. Just get rid of all their value. So they're left with Campfire, Land, Troll, Oof. Play Campfire. If they want to oof their Tithing Blade or whatever for our Wellspring, I'm totally fine with that. They don't. We'll sack this to draw 3, try to hit our land drop, which we do. And I can hold up Defile, that doesn't do much. Let's just map onto this, see if I hit a land. Nice. It's pretty good. Good advantage. We still can sacrifice the plant or the Lembas. If they're casting it down, I'm really not worried about that. These are their last 2 cards. They got a Campfire going. We have a Colony Garden. Let's go for a Lembas. I'll put the Swamp on the bottom. We already have 2 land drops and card draw for more, so we'll probably keep hitting them, even though obviously we do want to hit land drops. I think we'll be fine. Another Bog is their draw. We're going to Offering a plant. And I don't think I need to take their Tithing Blade until they flip it. Fairy Macabre Could just start being an attacker. Makes it so if they get initiative or something, it's worse. Yeah, we'll keep that. Cast it. Currently, we know they don't have any removal. Play Campfire and pass. I guess playing the Campfire, now they could... That's something that's not terrible for them to Troublemaker Oof. They still have to get rid of the Tithing Blade for it. We have another one we'll be a little bit more careful about. I think we'll be fine. And they will Insight the Oof right away. Play a Spell Bomb. Gonna map onto the Fairy. Defile, we'll put that in the grave. We already have enough of those. Hit for 3. I will likewise bargain here to get rid of their Campfire. Colony Garden means that I'm not susceptible to a Tithing Blade with either of our attackers. They go for a Duress. I'll go for an Offering here. Draw some more. If we draw more draw spells, they can take one of those. That's fine. Spell Bomb. Yeah, whatever. Alright, they concede. Yeah, they were way behind, and we have pretty good way to hold them off, and they are down on time, so they very smartly just decide to head to the last game. We're going to be on the draw. Don't think that changes anything. Yeah, I still think we want to focus on value and stuff as opposed to too many removal spells, so... This hand is okay. I guess we'll keep it. A little slow. I mean, we waste the Bog on turn 1 unless we draw a land here, which we do. Play a Mire. Next turn I'll cycle Troll for a Swamp, play Campfire. Ooh, actually I'll Duress, I think. Duresses did really well last time. Okay, 1 Defile's not really the best thing ever to take. They have double Troublemaker. They also have a Thorn next turn, potentially. They Duress us. Can't do much about it. If they slam Thorn, I can't land like a Fairy Macabre unless I draw a card to be an attacker here, unless I draw land, which I do. Yeah, I kind of think that's what I do then. Their best way forward with this hand is to slam a Thorn and then be lucky enough to draw into the removal spells. This way, if they just put Thorn down, we get to take it and then Tithing Blade them. And they can't have any free removal that's going to kill this Fairy Macabre. So they just have to pass, which is great for us. We'll still swing. Play a Lembas. I do want to hit land drops, but I really need some more card draw. We already have a Bojuka Bog, so I think I'll not do that. I'm not going to Duress. We know 3 of their 4 cards. Chances are we'll just whiff. Again, I probably shouldn't have played this Campfire because this is giving them a nice target for their Oof, which draws them an extra card. Whereas before I didn't really care if they like took a Lembas or whatever, but that's fine. Just should try to be a little more mindful of that. The Campfires are pretty decently important in this match, and just that if I can hold their guys back longer, that's good. I do get to Tithing Blade here, and I'll probably Duress. We have two cards to hit. So, yeah, let's go for it. We hit an Eviscerator's Insight and Defile. Defile lets them go Defile Thorn next turn. I guess I'll take the Defile for that reason. I don't really love doing that over the draw 2, but I gotta keep them from landing Thorn until I can better take and defend it. They play a Colony Garden. And Oof away, probably the Tithing Blade. No, they go for the Lembas. Well, I'll crack it. They map onto the Oof, hitting a Swamp. Lembas is a good draw. Oh boy. Avenging Hunter's good, but they have an Oof I can't kill. Then they're going to have a Thorn, and they have Eviscerator's Insight, so they have better advantage than me, so I feel like it's more of a liability. But I do have a Crypt Rats. I think we're going to take it and just try to be very cautious with when we use it. Like, I'm not just automatically going to slam it next turn. I could put Crypt Rats down for efficiency, and then if they go for a Thorn... No, let's just pass. I mean, they're not going to play Thorn until they have a removal spell. Scry at the bottom with Lembas. Eviscerator's Insight. And they Duress, so they know what's up, but they don't take anything. Swing for 2. And there's a Campfire. Ooh, we get a Thorn. Probably not as good, not good for us to play the Thorn. I probably shouldn't attack here, because I want to play one of these and defend it. They have 3 cards. We know 2 of them. I'm pretty sure we know the Swamp is in their hand. They need 2 removal spells. I think I just put the Hunter down. It's risky. I could go with the Thorn, but then they get to just play the Thorn right after. They don't know about the Thorn as well, so if I play it, they know what we have. They play the Thorn right after, and then I attack with the Macabre. If they don't have a removal spell, maybe it's not too bad. I don't know. They need 2 removal spells here. Flashback Insight's a good start for us. They need 2 removal spells to get through, and then we still get to play like a Thorn after. If they don't have that, they do play a Swamp. Go for another draw too. Things are looking pretty good, I think. No attacks. Very nice. We're going to forge onto the Macabre. Colony Garden. I'm just going to attack, I think. Put him to 5, which is trap range. And then I can play Colony Garden, Thorn of the Black Rose. As long as we can keep the trap, that's 5. If they get a Crypt Rats to wipe our board, that doesn't matter. If they take the initiative, we have these attackers back. I think Thorn's good here. I could play the Crypt Rats, but I think it probably makes sense to just hold Crypt Rats in hand because I can just drop it as like a 4 or 5 damage spell next turn. And they give us the GGs. So, close one. They do have the Crypt Rats, but of course, that's just going to lose them the game. They might be going out on their own terms. Oh, they do it for 4. Alright, close one, but luckily we were ahead on time. That game 1 was rough, but game 2 and 3 went our way. Those duresses really being helpful. The double duress game 2 was great. The single duress looked like it wasn't amazing taking a defile. Actually, I did get a second duress later, didn't I? Took another defile. Taking the removal spells actually really helped. That Fairy Macabre, they couldn't kill, and it made it so they had to hold back the Thorn, which really worked in our favor. Alright, we'll keep this one. We don't have anything to sacrifice to the Insight, but we do just have decent removal, which if we're against mono red is not bad. Tithing Blade is okay here. Also, Pulse is going to be good. I'm probably going to defile this. Well, I might Tithing Blade it. I think I'd rather get the Tithing Blade down so I might have something to Insight away. Oh, they don't have anything here. Not even a land. I'm trying to think, like, if they're Rally, then I might as well defile, like, pretty much any creature. And if they're mono red Madness, then they don't have that many creatures, but the instant speed removal is good for Gutter Snipes and things like that. And it looks like it is Madness, but I think getting the Tithing Blade down so I can use it for an Insight is definitely the better choice here. They plot a Robbery. We get a Thorn, so we're just going to play a Mire and pass with removal or Insight up. If I can land a Thorn next turn, that would be great. They go for the Robbery, discarding a Fiery Temper, down to 15. And again, missing a land drop. Pretty decent for us. We'll draw 2. We need an untapped land for this Thorn. Don't get it, but that's fine. We leave up removal, or I could just spend this turn doing Pulse of Marasa to gain 6, get back our Troll. They're going to bolt us. They're going to go for Grab the Prize. We're taking 2. I could Pulse of Marasa back their Snacker, back to hand. They might have to discard if they don't get a land anyway. That doesn't really change much. It's kind of cute, but I think I have removal to kill the Snacker anyway. Actually, I don't if I'm going to play the Thorn. Huh. Yeah, if I'm going to play Thorn next turn and I don't get a land, I wouldn't have a Defile up. I actually think I am going to Pulse their Snacker back then for that reason. Delay it a turn. We still gain the life. Obviously, the land from the Troll would be nice, but I'm just 1 mana short of being able to use it this turn or getting a Thorn and Defile next turn, so yeah. Yep, we're going to give him back a card. Obviously, we still gain the 6 life, which is the important part. And they don't draw a land, which does mean they get to just discard the Snacker again, but the important thing is we kept it off the field for a turn. We basically killed it, and we get to land a Thorn with no attackers. Play another Garden and pass the turn. Tithing Blade. I would love a little more card draw, and of course our Campfires would be nice. They go for a Robbery, because, you know, they still have a lot of cards, and they get to discard another Snacker here. Of course we have the removal for them, but we are going to run out at some point. Troll. Troll is just going to be a land. Could get a Witch's Cottage, but I don't really care to draw another Troll, so let's just get a Swamp. Play a Tithing Blade. Swing for 1. We'll see what we draw here. Swamp. We're going to cast down the Snacker. Going to use Cast Down because it's more expensive, and Defile just still kills anything in their team, in their deck. So, grab the prize, and they have the 3rd Snacker. We also have 2 Bojuka Bugs, 2 Spell Bombs in our deck. Can't find those. We will die if we can't find a way to permanently deal with these Snackers. And they got their 3rd Mountain. Lucky them. We just get another Garden. I mean, I guess I just Insight, Flashback, sack a plant to try to draw something here. Another Defile, so I can Defile 2 of these. They still take the Monarch, which only draws them a card, to be fair. I also draw off this. We get another Tithing Blade. Discard a Garden. They also just have 8 cards. I feel like, given the fact that they've had such bad luck drawing lands, and we had a pretty decent start, this should not be a hard one to win, but we're absolutely going to lose because we're just only drawing our removal, despite all of the rest of the deck being card draw and utility. Fiery Temper and double Snacker. They might Fiery Temper the Thorn so that I can't take the Monarch. Of course I can with the Thorn in hand. No, they just don't even care about that. Go face. I think that makes some sense too. Gotta discard a couple cards to hand size. Probably not even a downside if they have Lava Darts or more snackers. There's a Faithless Looting, I guess that's fine. We get a Swamp. Swing for 1. We get the Monarch. We will Tithing Blade. I guess I'll flip a Tithing Blade. If we can somehow survive, like, the life gain can be relevant. Bojuka Bog, just so many turns too late. Lava Dart to the face. Lava Dart to the face. Swing for 4. And Bolt. There is no way we should have lost that one, so that's pretty frustrating. We get Duress and Weather the Storm and Fairy Macabre. We did draw, like, just about every card we didn't want to draw. Both of our Thorns, not very good in that match. Snuff Outs, and then just so much removal, and we didn't draw a Campfire, a Spellbomb, a Bojuka Bog until late. Brother. Alright, we'll cut all the useless stuff, some of the removal we don't need, etc. This hand is decent. Oh, we didn't see any Lembuses either. That's another thing that could have gained us some life. We saw one Pulse of Marasa. That was it. Epic here. Go for a Lembus. We'll keep a Weather the Storm. I'll take a damage here. They play a Flame Breather, which I don't immediately have the removal for because we don't have swamps. So I think I should try to find them with a Lembus. Macabre, not quite what we need. We do get a swamp. Alright, so I'll do that and I can Duress here. That's not bad. Lightning Bolt, double Lava Dart, Faithless Looting. I think we'll take a Faithless Looting. Because that binning 2 Lava Darts is like pretty decent, I think. We found a Searing Blaze. You know, I thought about jumping with this plant last turn for just the 1 damage and was like, well, I'll just have it for next turn, but Searing Blaze makes that worse. Not really sure why they'd even bring in Searing Blaze, because I don't have enough creatures to really warrant that, but I guess it worked here. Well, I'd have to double Defile this. I could hold up Weather the Storm so we don't die. Yeah, I kind of think I have to just hold up Weather / Lembus. Although if I don't, they're going to not probably play into it, which means I'm going to have to not use it. We take 2, we go to 10. This is 4, 4, 4, so that's 12 damage. If I crack a Lembus, I'm pretty much on the edge anyway. Yeah, we're just going to pass. Probably going to Defile this Epic here. If they go for a Bolt here, I think we just Defile and Weather the Storm. Obviously, I'd like to get more out of it, but we're just too low and too dangerous of a spot, and I don't think 1 Lembus like guarantees that we survive, so they do Lava Dart main phase here, so that is a little scary, but we're 14 life. Seems like tough for them to kill us here. Discard a Mountain to the Blood. We get a Swamp. That's nice, because that lets us kill the Flame Breather. They're going to dart us in response. 12. Alright, I'll play a Wellspring and just pass. I should probably be fine not to have to correct the Lembus, but in case they get like a Gutter Snipe or something here, I have that ability. But if not, we're just going to draw 3. They go for a Looting, discard a Mountain and a Searing Blaze, play a Flame Breather. We will draw 3 Crypt Rats. If I play Crypt Rats, we have to take 3 to kill this. We go to 9. They could double dart in response. We go to 5, but they'd have to lose 2 lands. They're not going to do that. I could just play a Troll. I don't think that is as safe. I think we just do the Crypt Rats and go for 3. Alright, they don't sack any lands in response. I think that makes sense. Especially because if they get a Gutter Snipe, then they can play it, and then they have 6 damage off of them, which is even more. They play an Epicure. We're down to 9. Another Crypt Rats. Again, I could just play the Troll, but I think I'm going to draw some cards and gain some life off of Lembus here, probably. Garden is not bad. Yeah, I'm just going to sack one of these now for a little bit of security. I mean, there's nothing they could draw that would instantly kill us, but let's just do this anyway. And I'll probably chump, draw 2. If we tap out, there's no way they could kill us here with 1 card. I say no way. I guess if they get like Faithless Looting into exactly Fiery Temper, that still wouldn't be lethal, but it'd be close. Now we get to play a Troll and hold up Lembus. Actually, I can, but I almost want to just get rid of their darts and their Faithless Looting right now. I'll draw a card. Yeah, they needed those pretty badly, so that won us the game there. Let's send it back. Alright, we're going to keep this one. Campfire right away is really good. Offering, we need something to sacrifice other than the Campfire, but we also have a Defile and a Weather the Storm, which we need green mana for, so like we're really looking for a Colony Garden. double snacker, actually a Bojuka Bog. Double snacker in the bin immediately. Well, Crypt Rats can send them back to the bin in a couple of turns. They did not have anything else. Oh my god. And then we draw the Bog. That's crazy. We are not going to take the chance. That's a hell of a turn 1. I would argue the best turn 1 they can have, but of course they have to follow it up with a draw 2 or at least another Faithless Looting. I think it's a one that you always keep even if there's a chance you don't draw any lands. And we just went from like 20% to win, I think, to like, I don't know, at least 50 again. We have a Campfire going. We still need, you know, Colony Garden and stuff, but like, yeah. Now they have a Flame Breather. I can't defile it this turn because I don't have 3 swamps, but I can do it this next turn. Take that off the board. Just pass. Also, if they have like a Cast in the Fire, Smash to Smithereens, that lets us turn our Campfire into a Offering, which would be nice. Not that I want to lose the Campfire, but like, you know, if we're going to lose it, might as well. Grab the prize. Another Bojuka Bog. I kind of don't want to use that Bog yet. There's nothing in the graveyard that matters. I don't need to hit the land drop right now. I'm just going to pass. If I can even just get one Faithless Looting or one Lava Dart, like I'd prefer to wait on that. Another, grab the prize with the Searing Blaze. Luckily the Campfire just offsets all that damage. Tithing Blade. Alright, they just concede. They were pretty far behind. I mean, we didn't have the best draw ever, because we couldn't cast this, we couldn't really cast these. I think I was going to hold the Tithing Blade just because they're going to play a creature eventually that matters. Then I get to Tithing Blade it, whereas I could play it and then like offering it away. I just don't think I need to do that. Obviously they had a bad draw and we got the game though. Alright, no lands. Not a keep. This one we will keep. Pulse might not be good. I think we just get rid of a Wellspring though. If we get rid of Pulse and then we're against another burn deck, we're going to regret it. And it's just decent value even if we're against Terror or Fairies or whatever this is. We're going to cycle a Lorien for a Volatile Fjord. Okay, so it looks like Is It Control? Or it could be Is It Fairies? A little less popular, but then again, neither of these decks are extremely popular at the moment. I'm going to play the Wellspring. I'm going to hope it doesn't get Spell Pierced. And it doesn't. That's good. Kind of need that for all these draw spells. Play an Island and pass. We're lucky enough to draw a Swamp, so I can just pass here. And if they tap low, I'll probably go for an Offering. They have a Frantic Inventory. They didn't have Spell Pierce before. We're going to have to discard a card. I think that's better than it getting countered. They could have a Dispel, obviously, but I think I'd like this to resolve. Ooh, okay, so many card draw spells. Frantic Inventory, Spell Bomb's definitely going to be relevant. I'm going to get rid of the Darkness because I'm not really sure how relevant it's going to be. It could still be Is It Control and they're just trying out inventory. It could also be like, well, Augur means Spinning Darkness could have been better, but could be Fairies, could be like a Serpentine Curve kind of a deck or something. If I defile now and they have like a Spell Setter, it's kind of bad. I don't think it's Fairies though. If it's Fairies, I don't think you play Frantic Inventory. So if they just want to counter this, that's fine. And if they do Spell Stutter it, then I get got, but alright, that's fine. I could play Spell Bomb, which could either Frantic Inventory, or I could just hold up double Draw Spell. But if the first one gets countered, I don't have anything to draw off of it, or I don't have anything to draw from the second one, so we'll just do this. Spell Bomb seems like it'll be good against inventories of nothing else. They have another one, so I could let them draw 2, or I could crack it right away. I think we're going to Insight, or Offering our map. We get a Cast Down. So this takes a card away from them. Yeah, I mean, a card is pretty good. It takes 1 card for every future inventory as well. So I could like let it resolve and then I could take it away so that the next one is 2 cards less, but it's just the same amount of cards either way. So they have an Augur. That's probably going to get Tithing Bladed. Yeah, Pieces of the Puzzle makes me think it's more of a like a Serpentine Curve deck or something, but not sure exactly. Could be doing that with Fling. Preordain, cycle a Lorien for a Fjord. Play that. We get a Troll. We're going to cycle that for green. Play that. Might as well Tithing Blade and Campfire. If they are like Serpentine Curve with Fling, then the Campfire can actually be good because we can just keep going up in life, which can make it harder for them to fling and kill us. Then you go for Brainstorm. It also would mean they probably don't have that many creatures. Obviously, we've seen Augurs already, but if they don't have that many creatures, then if we get an Emblem down, we should be able to protect it pretty easily. Cycle another Lorien. Of course, they're going to have counter spells for our Initiative and Monarch creatures, but if we can get around that, we could be in a pretty good spot. Play another Fjord. Pass. We're going to go for an offering. Double Crypt Rat. I guess maybe I should just pulse back the Troll to hit our land drop. But I'm going to sack this too. We still don't. Guess I'll play a Spell Bomb. They just Lightning Bolt us. That's not a great sign. They go for pieces of the puzzle. Preordain, Scred, Augur. I assume they'll take, yeah, Scred and Preordain. Cast the Preordain. Pretty sure Serpentine Curve doesn't care if they're in exile, does it? So Spellbomb's like okay against Frantic Search, but not actually the best thing ever. Exile and in your graveyard, yeah. Flipping Tithing doesn't do much. Yeah, I'd really like to hit these lands. I guess I'm going to pulse back this Troll. Cycle it for... I guess I could go for Witch's Cottage. I could get back the Troll again. And then just pass. Campfire. We will cycle Troll again. It also obviously doesn't do much to just play a Troll because they have at least 2 Screds we know about. Same with the Crypt Rats. I think we just pass. Play a Landscape. They have another Pieces of the Puzzle. Hits Fiery Cannonade, Counterspell, Lightning Bolt, Preordain. Probably take the blue spells. No, Lightning Bolts and Preordain. They don't take the Counterspell? That seems crazy to me. They're trying to go for the burn win, which, I mean, is fair, but we're still at 22. Preordain. I think we're going to keep campfiring, because it just feels like we want to stay high in life. Don't think we're going to flip this Tithing Blade, though, so let's just draw 2 off of it. If they counter it, that's fine. Lose focus, sure. Limbus. I will keep a Swamp, and then just pass the turn. Lorien Revealed. Play a Fjord. Lightning Bolt us. Draw off Campfire. We've already gotten rid of 2 Frantic. No, there is a Frantic still in the grave. Let's crack their graveyard then. And Limbus. Since life total seems big, I don't think I want to eviscerate his insight and waste the life here. We do have so many removal spells, though. I'm just going to play a Crypt Rats and sack it right away. Oh, never mind. They're going to counter. That's fine. I'll still play a Crypt Rats. Just pass. I think we can cut some of these removal spells in game 2. They're going to Scred it. We will draw. So I guess by doing this, we eat up a Scred, but they could have a counter spell, but whatever. They're tapped out, but I don't think they have a Serpent that's going to be big enough yet. Go for Brainstorm, sack the Landscape. Definitely play this island at some point. There's an Augur. They have 17 cards left in deck. Hit a counter spell, and they pass. We get a Thorn of the Black Rose. Let's defile this. Play. They have a counter spell for the Thorn. Let's just go for a Limbus. They counter that. So let's just go for a Thorn. I could hold up removal for their Serpent, but if they have a counterspell, that's fine. We could hold up removal for their Serpent, but if they have it and then instantly have a Fling, then it's not going to matter if I have removal, so it doesn't really matter to hold it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's count everything. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. I think they're counting at the same time. 24. We can go to 28. So they only have to put 4 spells in, but they only have 5 cards in hand. So they, unless they have like a mill spell or Pieces of the Puzzle, it's not quite going to be there. Okay, Pieces could kill us here. There's the curve. They put 2 of these in the grave. Up to 2. They could just take 1. Brainstorm and Pieces. They don't take the curve. I guess they already have a curve, so it doesn't matter. And they Pieces again. Getting a Preordain and a Scred. They're at 5 cards in deck, but they're planning to just kill us next turn because they just added... There's a Preordain. They added 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pretty sure we're going to die here. But we're going to Campfire. I guess a Limbus is probably our best draw. That doesn't do anything. Play a Tithing Blade and pass. We're at 30. I feel like they can probably deal 30. Frantic Inventory. They're going to Brainstorm. 0 cards in their deck. Do I have any way to mill? I definitely don't, but that would be what I'd need here. Thought Scour them in there at the end step here. They bolt us. That is definitely going to help bridge the gap. Again, I think they already had it, but might as well throw out the bolt. I mean, they should probably do their due diligence and count, but I think they have the capacity. They're going to Fiery Cannonade for nothing first. Serpentine Curve is a 34 power creature. And there's the Fling. Alright. Well, seems like they only have one fling, so I guess Duress could get there if we just gain enough life. Like, we got to 30, which is pretty cool, but with the 4 bolts, they flung for 34. We need to be above, like, 45 life to be really comfortable. So we're going to keep in Campfires, because I think it's really a life game. Like, Crypt Rats don't do anything. Honestly, just removal doesn't do anything. They might have, like, a transformative sideboard or something weird, but I think we just cut most of our removal, because it doesn't seem to matter. I mean, I guess if we have these still having some removal to get their augurs would be good. But Fairy Macabres can come in. Sure, we'll keep in 3 Defiles. Well, and we have Tithing Blades too. Well, we don't have anything else to bring in. I guess I could just bring in a 2/2, which could attack. They have some removal for it, but it also blocks. Yeah. Like, they're kind of a weird combo deck. I guess kind of a control deck too, but with a combo finish. So yeah, Weather the Storm. If we can just get one of those off for a good amount, that'd be pretty good. I think our best bet. All right, we have Bog on turn 1. Yeah, this hand's not bad, even though we have to waste the Bog right away. But then we get to go Duress into Lembas, into Offering. I think if we just hit our land drops a little more smoothly last time, like, we still lost by about 7 life. Probably would have still lost, but we could have gotten a couple more Campfire activations in. We'll Duress them. Did they mulligan? They kept 7 land scred, or 6 land scred. They gave us an LOL in chat. Well, they're going to be hitting their land drops, that's for sure. Which I guess is what they want to be doing. I was very shocked. All right, we're looking for lands here too. Maybe I should be jealous of them, honestly. We'll keep a swamp. And pass. We're going to keep the Fjords coming. Let's go for an Offering on the Lembas. I do want to gain life with these, but right now we just need to draw cards. There's a swamp. They didn't counter that, so I'm going to assume they don't have a counter for this. We're going to pass. Ooh, they got a spell. Good for them. Preordain 2 to the top. They play an island, so they have something to cast because they didn't just play a Fjord, it looks like. Still having trouble with those lands a little bit. Let's play a Spell Bomb. Let's just draw a few with the Spell Bomb. Oh, brother. We get the Troll, but we just still don't get a land drop this turn. I could discard Macabre for no value, so I might as well just... We have way too many green spells, and the oofs are the least relevant, I think. We play... I think we play like 18 lands, which is, you know, obviously a little low, but with 3 trolls, feels like we should be hitting it a little bit more. But they go for a Lorien Revealed. We're just going to cycle this for Haunted Mire. And I'm just going to Campfire instead of Wellspring. Try to start gaining some life, I suppose. Although they're going to have artifact removal, I'm realizing. Yep. So I gain 2. I guess I could put the graveyard into the deck. That doesn't make much sense. It doesn't feel like a match we should be like super unfavored against, but like just how it's playing out. But like, we are not great generally against combo decks, so you know, if we lose this one, I think that's pretty fair. Duress is decent. Let's go for that. We don't know anything in their hand. Maybe I should save it for when they get to Brainstorm like tapped out, if they are ever tapped out, or once they counter something, so I can like they only had 1 fling, I'm pretty sure, because they got through their whole deck before seeing it. Or before using it, I guess. Annuls, counterspells. Well, we'll take the counterspell. We've played 3 spells this turn, so I could Weather for 12. I think if they bolt us on the end step, I'll go for the Weather, but I think I can probably do better. I mean, we still only have 1 green source, so maybe I should have just gone for it, but they got an Augur, hitting a Lorien. Guess I'm going to pulse back a Troll to use our mana. And get a land drop. I kind of want to save this for like an Avenging Hunter or something that we can land, because I think that's our problem. Last game we weren't able to hit a Thorn or Avenging Hunter at all. 5. Alright, we have up Insight plus Weather the Storm, so if they cast a few spells on their turn, then we can gain some life. They go for Pieces of the Puzzle, hit another Pieces, Serpentine Curve, Brainstorm Scred. They take Pieces and Curve. Swing for 1. They're going to cycle a Lorien. I'm going to go for draw 3 here. Play an island, and they're going to pass. We'll play a Wellspring, which is going to get annulled. No? Thought that was the whole point of having annulls. Going to go for an Offering here. Maybe I should play another Lembas. I got to get more lands. I think this deck could use another land, probably. Gonna play the garden because I want to get more green mana going. And I guess I'll map onto this plant. Get a campfire. We'll leave that on top. If I Tithing Blade, I don't care about this guy. I'm just gonna have to discard. I don't want to discard the weathers, but I'm tapping out a weather, which could die from 10, 11. They could definitely get us there, potentially. Well, I'm gonna discard the Fairy Macabre and use it. They don't have anything in their graveyard that's super relevant, so it doesn't really matter, but might as well, because we're gonna discard it anyway. And discard the Oof. They play in other pieces, hitting their own campfire, so they don't mill out, I suppose. Or Frantic Inventory. Of course, they hit that right after we use the Macabre. Preordained Lorien. They choose Brainstorm was in there too. Brainstorm and Lorien is what they get. Cycle the Lorien for an island. I guess they're holding annuls for the Lembuses, aren't they? Or for Campfire. Let's Tithing Blade, see if they want to use an annul on one of these. No, they don't care about it, which is totally reasonable. I think we're just going to flip one. Start gaining some life this way, I suppose. Hold up a Weather the Storm. Bolt to the face. They have another pieces of the puzzle. Frantic Inventory, Counterspell, Lightning Bolt. They take the inventory and the counterspell. I think they're going to bolt us again. I think we're going to Weather the Storm at the end step here for 9. Not a ton, but I only have 2 green, so I want to get one of them off. And we're getting a little low, and then I'm going to like play Campfire Lembus. They're probably going to counterspell them, and then I can get 2 big weathers off, potentially. Tithing Blades, how much mana do we have? 9? Yeah, this is 9. So I'll play Campfire. They annul it. Play a Lembus. They annul that. Play a Lembus. They counterspell that. Then we're going to Weather the Storm. We're going to Weather the Storm. This should be good enough to not die to the combo. And then if we just have Tithing Blade or something, which ideally resolves, you know, we can just kill the Serpent they play. Frantic Inventory. That's the goal. Otherwise, they could just curve and maybe they, you know, make a 20-20 and then they're able to hit us 3 times with it since I took out too much removal, something like that. But they go for a Preordain. After a couple Frantic Inventories, they're going to go for the curve. But they're tapped out. So 26-26. Ooh, I guess I'll even duress them just on the off chance they play foil. There's the Fling, another curve. They do have a Frantic Inventory, which draws 4. I think I take the curve, though, and then I Tithing Blade here. And then I guess I flip it. Maybe I should just draw 2 with this Eviscerator's Insight. Probably. But they have a Frantic Inventory, which is about to draw them 4 cards. I left them with Fling, because even with the 30-30, it shouldn't be that big of a deal. I guess if they get to like 35, 36, then are able to hit us once in Fling, it'll be relevant, but hoping that doesn't happen. They Preordain, scratch you to the bottom. I also assume they have to have another Campfire in order to not mill out, but I could be wrong there as well. Brainstorm. They do have a Campfire, and they have a Cast in the Fire for one of our Sepulchers. They pass, ping them for 1. We'll swing, play a Garden. Let's see how many counterspells they've used up. 1, 2, 3. So they have 1 left. So I'm just going to pass. I want to Eviscerator's Insight, but I don't want it to get countered. They gain life with a Campfire here. Well, I mean, they're going to be forced to use the Campfire to not mill out in a few turns. There's an Augur. Augur hits a Lorien. They're going to pass. Drain them for 1. We have a Duress. Duress before they crack the Campfire feels like kind of a waste. Feels like I kind of want to wait until they have to do that. Which means they'll gain some life along the way, but whatever. Like if I duress something, it goes into their graveyard and then it comes right back into their deck. Whereas if I wait until they have to crack their Campfire, at least it'll be gone. Well, they have another Campfire, but it'll be mostly gone for a little while. There's another Weather the Storm. Probably don't need that anymore. They activate Campfire. Pass the turn. We have a Wellspring. I think with their counterspells going to be used and then coming back, I might as well just wait on them entirely. Both of our Campfires have been used. One's in our graveyard, one's in our exile. So we're going to mill out before they do because of their Campfire. So, yeah, this seems like a tough spot. I'm not sure we're going to be able to get there. I guess they've already seen 3 Troublemaker Oofs, but and they probably have a counterspell, but they were really banking on, like, if they gained 2 life at the end step there with the Campfire and then I was able to exile it, I probably would just win. But if they have counterspells and stuff, they're probably fine. They do end up cracking it and just pass the turn. No, they go for a Lorien on the end. not the end step, obviously. Okay, well, they're going back and forth. They decide not to. After all, I will play a Wellspring, Witch's Cottage. I guess we'll duress them. We still have not seen an Avenging Hunter or Thorn of the Black Rose. I guess we don't really want a Thorn at this point, but we did a couple seconds ago. A couple turns ago. Counterspell, I guess. Go for a draw 3. There's Thorn, but it's just going to make us lose faster at this point. I think we should get back a Troll and try to just win with those guys. Like Avenging Hunter I would still take, but haven't seen him. Play a Wellspring and pass the turn. They go for the Lorien. Bolt our plant. Start getting in for 1. Pass the turn. They got a discard. Discard the Fling, since it's not doing much for them. I'm going to cast a Troll and try to map onto the plant. Put a Troll on top. Swing for 1. Pass. Scred the Troll. Another Augur. Hits a Preordain. Preordain. They swing for 1. We get another Troll, which they have the counterspell for, potentially. I mean, they could lose focus it. I think we took this counterspell before, but they could certainly have another. Or they could lose focus for a bajillion. I would not be able to do anything about it. Go for the counterspell. Garden and pass. Frantic Inventory. And another. And another. I guess we're going to weather the storm for another 18 life. I mean, we're probably going to mill out before anything else happens, but might as well not die here. They cast into the fire our Sepulcher. Bit unfortunate. I think if we'd used our campfires better, I was just worried about surviving the combo, using them to gain life, but if I had at least saved the second one to shuffle back in our library, I think we might be okay. Might have been okay. But I'm not so sure anymore. We will Bojuka Bog them. Because, like, they could play a bunch of spells to draw a bunch with, like, pieces of the puzzle and stuff, but that comes with the risk of milling over the campfire, which they'll probably wait until they have drawn it to do. With this Bojuka Bog, though, like, I don't know. They could still mill out first if they go too ham. But if they don't, then there's probably no way they can lose. Except that they have 6 minutes on clock, but that's a lot of minutes. They go for a curve. It's a 15-15. They bolt a plant. Don't even swing. We'll cast a Lembas. Spinning Darkness, not really what we need. Tithing Blade doesn't really kill what we want it to. We have 10 cards in our library. Sure, I'll play the Tithing Blade anyway. And go ahead and flip it. Pass to them. They're going to bolt the plant. Preordain. Let's grab one to the top. Hit for 16. It's quite a bit. Crack a Lembas. Go back to 82. 83 on our upkeep. We get a Swamp here. Thorn blocks, but makes us die twice as fast to our milling out. We'll take 16. Pay them for 1. Viscerator's Insight. Perfect. I have one in the graveyard, but I was waiting for the one from the draw deck. Not really. I will expedite my Terminus. Thorn of the Black Rose. Sure, we'll cast one of these. In fact, we'll cast 2 of these. Blockers for days. And now they're not attacking. What are they doing? I'm definitely not going to mill out. They discard some stuff. We get a Lembas. Scry at the bottom. We only needed 3 cards left in our deck to find our Avenging Hunter. Dude, this is outrageous. If we'd found this like 15 turns ago, maybe we would have had a shot. But I guess it just wasn't meant to be. Alright, this hand is decent. Let's see if we can just not get crazy unlucky. Alpine Meadow. No idea what they're playing. Could be some kind of domain deck or something. Or it could just be like Borosynth or something. There's a relic. We'll just play a Lembas. We will keep a land. Melded Moxite. Discarding Journey to Nowhere. No land drop. Does kind of look like it's just Moxite deck. We'll get rid of this Swamp. Play a Garden. Swing for none. Another Moxite. Well, unfortunate they got the stacker the second time, because I was gonna play a Thorn here, but I can't do that anymore. Would love like a Fanatical Offering. Perfect. Just because I want to Crypt Rats these 2 away next turn, but I don't want to just waste these plants, so Fanatical lets me utilize them. And that way I don't have to waste my Snuff Out or Tithing Blade on these guys right now. We'll take a hit, but I think that's okay. They play the Moxite again. Discard a Scred. Gotcha. So the Snow lands is for a reason. Scred's a good card. We'll draw 2, and they'll activate the Relic. I'm just going to crack one of these Limbuses. We have enough fodder, and yeah, they're going to crack the Relic. That's totally fine. The life gain can be pretty relevant here. I didn't have a way to kill the Snacker in response. I guess I could have tried to like bait that out. I don't know. Defile. They discard a Limbus for turn. I guess if I really want, I could Thorn, snuff out the Glint Hawk, defile the Snacker, and then I still have Tithing Blade Crypt Rats for later. I kind of actually like that here. So if they go for just a single creature, I get to Tithing Blade it, and if they go for multiple creatures, I get to Crypt Rats them, and all the while I have the Monarch. As opposed to waiting another turn for the Monarch and going for the Crypt Rats value now, I think this is a little better. Another Moxite, discard a Limbus, get back Snacker, and they have a Skyfisher. Spell Bomb. So if I Crypt Rats for 3, then I can't Spell Bomb the Snacker away, which is a little awkward. I can't really afford to let them take the Monarch, of course. All the Crypt Rats for 3, we also lose our Thorn. But then we have a Tithing Blade for the Snacker next turn. And then we have Spell Bomb, ideally. Yeah, it's a little awkward, especially because I have to lose my Thorn. I think we're just going to do it. I'm going to do it now in case they play like Prismatic Strands. I'd rather they not be able to prevent the damage. They play Moxite, bring back Snacker again, and they have another Skyfisher, and an Inspector. Well, now I need another Crypt Rats, which I have one in the grave. Could put it on top, draw it with a Wellspring, but then I only have 5 mana, so I can't kill everything. We've even hit a land drop every turn this game, and it still feels like we don't have enough. If they get the Monarch, then that's pretty bad, but I guess I can't really stop them unless I draw like double removal spell, which is probably not happening. I don't think the Crypt Rats does as much good. I could put the Thorn back on top. That doesn't do much good either, because then I'm still not dealing with these guys. I think I just gotta go for a Wellspring and hope to draw something. That's not it. Tithing Blade, sack the Inspector, play a Spell Bomb. I guess I'll play a Garden, like... yeah. We just Pulse of Marasa. See, that was what I was... I mean, I guess I still didn't have the mana for it, but it would have been decent to, like, pulse back the Crypt Rats. I guess I'll leave that on top. The Snacker just came back too many times. I needed a way to kill it permanently sooner. A Spell Bomb, that is. We'll take 4. Also, I guess I could have not mapped onto the plant, because it could have at least hidden a little bit more that I have a creature to attack and take the Monarch, and now they just know and are going to plan around killing it. Secret of the Way. Offering. I think we just got to Offering this Wellspring. Getting back a Crypt Rats right now does not do enough. We get a Tithing Blade. We'll cast that. They sack the Skyfisher. Could map onto this again. And they still just have a Bolt or whatever. It doesn't do much. Guess I'm going to Campfire and just gain some life. And then we have a Limbus. Then next turn I could Pulse Crypt Rats for 3. Yeah, I don't know. Feels tough. They make a 2/2. Play a Moxite again. Discard a Plains. We're taking 7. I can go up to 13. I'll crack the Limbus and just no blocks. We need this plant to take back the Monarch. Not that that's probably going to really happen. I just need too much. I need to be able to Crypt Rats wipe the board and then also have a Thorn to play immediately after. We go to 5 here. They play a Relic, which negates our Pulse and our Witch's Cottage. They just crack it right away. And play another Limbus. Viscerator's Insight. We get a Cast Down. Play a Wellspring. I was hoping to find something that I wouldn't have needed that I might have needed the other mana for, so I could have played the Wellspring first, drawn an extra card here, but whatever. Well, we get a Defile, Cast Down. I guess we take this out. Take the Snacker out. We have a Spell Bomb. Play a Garden. Gain 2 life off the Campfire. Maybe we can survive here. Journey to Nowhere on the plant. That is rude. Swing for 2. Crack a Clue. Draw from the Monarch. That's going to trigger the Snacker. We're going to crack the Spell Bomb. Defile. Let's go for Insight on the Wellspring to draw 3. Another Spell Bomb. Cast down Troll. Play that. Play a Spell Bomb. Activate Campfire. Pass the turn. They make another Robot. I don't even have a target for the Pulse, so I think I just kill both of these with Cast Down and Defile. Try to preserve our life total, and see if we make it out of this turn. Glint Hawk, a Moxite. Replay. Discarding a Snacker. I keep not having the mana for the Spell Bomb, but gotta keep that guy off the field. Inspector. We have 2 more Crypt Rats in the deck. Finding one of those would be pretty good. Play a Troll. Activate Campfire. Swamp and pass. Scred the Troll. And make a 2/2. I'm going to buy back the Troll. And I might as well defile this Glinthawk. So we're going to do that anyway. They swing for 3. Mock Sight. Found another Snacker. Limbus. They pass. There's the Crypt Rats. We'll gain life off the Campfire. Play Crypt Rats. I think we just wipe the board and then, yeah, wipe for 2. Then I can Witch's Cottage the Crypt Rats back on top, and I can play the Troll in the same turn. Troll probably gets scredded again, but that's fine. Then I could use it for like a Tithing Blade. They crack a Clue, crack the Mock Sight. They Journey to Nowhere the Troll. Play an Inspector, crack a Clue, which is going to bring back the Snacker. I do get to play Crypt Rats again though, which is going to cost 5 to wipe the board, 5 to flip a Tithing Blade, and 1 for a Campfire. Oh, never mind. I forgot that they journeyed the Troll, which means I'm not gonna flip the. No, there's no reason to not Crypt Rats right now, right? For 2, yeah, which means we can get the Tithing Blade going 1 turn earlier. And this has been a tough game in general. Who knows if we're gonna win this one? But we've held on for a long time, and despite all of their advantages, you know, they could mill out in 6 turns before they can kill us. They've lost a lot of creatures, but they also have a lot more probably. There's a Glinthawk for a Limbus. Replay the Limbus. Finds a Seeker of the Way, and another Seeker. Gets back Snacker. I feel like we're not going to just find our last Crypt Rats here. Well, there's a Limbus. I guess we could. And we do. Okay, we're going to gain some life. We're gonna Crypt Rats for. I gotta do it for a little bit more so the Seekers don't die. And I want to do it on my turn so their pump doesn't last. So I think I should do it for like 4 or 5. Let's do it for 4. That lets me also have Limbus up. If they have 3 spells to cast, so be it. That keep these Seekers alive, then I'll probably die. Also, I probably should have done the Limbus first, because now if they just have like triple bolt, I'll die to that. But I guess I'll crack Limbus in their upkeep so that maybe they won't have that. I go back up to 12. They have a Skyfisher. Unfortunately, we already used our Pulse and our Witch's Cottage. I don't think we have another way to get back at Crypt Rats, and we've used all of them. Because otherwise, we're finally above their life total, although they've got some Limbuses. But like we could actually maybe use them to... Oh god, they have so many creatures. Like we get to flip this Tithing Blade, gain 2 off the Campfire, but we need something pretty good to... I mean, they only have 5 cards left in their deck. We really could survive. They discard another Snacker. Also, they do get the Limbuses to go back in, so they're at more like 7 cards in deck. We get another Campfire. Alright. Flip a Tithing Blade. Play a Campfire. Gain some life. Gain some more life. We've seen only 1 Lightning Bolt. They very well could have 3 bolts left then. They could also only be playing like a couple bolts, but they could have a bunch of burn here. There's an Inspector, Glinthawk. Yeah, they're going to have enough damage. They have 3 more turns here, and this is 9 damage, plus they get their Snacker back. I mean, I guess I gain 6 a turn, which is pretty good, but just not quite enough, I don't think. Limbus is pretty good. Limbus into Limbus would actually be the best way to survive here. I think we have 3 in the deck, and I think 1 got exiled earlier. Yeah, so I could have another one. Fanatical Offering. I don't have anything I really want to offering because everything gains us life. But I think I have to take the card draw. So Campfire gains us more life. I'm going to sack one of these Sepulchers. We need the life that gains... everything that gains us the most life. Spinning Darkness is pretty good, actually. Play a Wellspring. Avenging Hunter. I wasn't going to use that anyway. We'll kill a Skyfisher. Gain some life. I probably should have sacked the Limbus before we played the Wellsprings, but that's okay. We're back up to 23. They only have 2 turns. No, wait, 3 turns, right? They draw their end step. The next turn they do that. No, I think just this turn and next turn. They bolt us. Do they have it? Another bolt. Limbus. Sack the Limbus. That's not lethal. Cast down helps. Campfire. Campfire. I can play Avenging Hunter. Doesn't really do much. They might have a Scred. Doesn't matter at all. Like, we get a land out of our deck. I guess I could maybe map onto it. It's a blocker if they don't have the removal spell. And it doesn't matter if they have the initiative because they're dead next turn anyway. Yeah, let's just play it. Might as well map onto it. Haunted Mire. We will cast down a Skyfisher. And we'll pass to them. They do have the Scred. They have 7 damage on us this turn. They can play a Lembas, and then sacrifice it, but they're still... It doesn't prevent them from milling out entirely. They still have 1 card in their deck, and they're going to draw an extra at the Monarch, which means that they should die next turn. They do take the initiative, and they concede. Oh my god. That was outrageous. We wiped the board every time we needed to. Well, not every time we needed to. Obviously, one more would have been great. But we wiped the board several times. We ended up getting the campfires and gaining life. They conceded the whole match? I was looking forward to game 2 there. I mean, that game was basically a whole match, but I guess they just didn't want to deal with that again, but that's crazy. What a game. All right, last round here, and this one looks decent. A lot of lands for once, which I'm not too upset about. We get to just Wellspring on 2. All right, we start with the Colony Garden, pass to them. And looks like we're against Gruul, probably. Play a Wellspring and pass the turn. Gruul monsters, that is, or I guess it could be Panza. We have a lot of removal, so it should be an okay matchup for us, but of course if they get out really fast and we don't have the removal to stop them, could be a tough one. They do get to make 4 mana here, so we could see a Chrysalis or Bannerhide Cruise Shock or something. They have another Wild Growth, okay. So still get to make 4 this turn, but next turn they have even more mana. And they are Panza, I could just feel it. So Thermokarst, bit unfortunate. We get a cast down. They're at 7 mana. I think I should just cast down their Arbor Elf. I would have done it last turn if I had it, but I did not. Unfortunately, them being at 4 still means that they could... I really shouldn't have attacked. They do have haste creatures in this deck usually. They shouldn't be able to play a boarding party here, but you know, who knows. But cutting them off their mana means they can't play enormous creatures, hopefully, although they could still Avenging Hunter, but they could still like Thermokarst us, which would be unfortunate. They do rumble into Triple Forest, and I assume they're taking a boarding party. Indeed. And then they could still like... Okay, Repurposer, not as bad as another land destruction spell. I want to build up my swamps for this Witch's Cottage and for Defiles, so I'm definitely just playing this Haunted Mire here, I think. We have another offering. I think we're just going to probably chump the boarding party, assuming that's what they play, and offering the plant. I can always offering the Wellspring later. There's the boarding party into a Sprawl. That's not bad for us. Avenging Hunter, of course, can be pretty decent in this matchup as long as we can protect it, but not having a lot of removal yet. It's not looking amazing for protection. Okay. Prayer answered. Double cast down. Pretty good. And a swamp. So I can swamp Witch's Cottage. Next turn I could play a Hunter. I think we'd want to swamp and then just hold up. I could cast down. I could double cast down if I really need to, if they have like another boarding party, or I could just Fanatical Offering here. They have another Wild Growth, and they do have another boarding party. Pretty good. Into an Acid Moss. Yeah, that's annoying. I'm going to cast down a boarding party. And I could take 9 to draw 3. That's so much. I think I just cast this down. I mean, I could chump block it next turn with the Garden. I would have played a Garden this time to chump block, but then we wouldn't have had the mana to do 2 of our 2-drops. I don't like that, but another Swamp. I think we just play Garden and pass. Hope for them to be out of gas. That's pretty good. Rumble finds Altasaur. Or a Chrysalis or a Wildling, but yeah, Altasaur is the highest value, and they can play it this turn, which they do. And they find Boarding Party, of course, into Thermokarst. Oh, come on, dude. I mean, I'll draw as many cards as I can, so I'm just going to sack this Wellspring. Snuff Out's not bad. Crypt Rats is a lot less good when we've lost all of our, well, 3 of our black sources. Let's see, we'll block here, just pass. Lembas, I could play a Crypt Rats, which just chump blocks. Snuff out this. We take 3 plus 4, we're at 4. If I was able to Crypt Rats and actually have some black mana, I could just wipe the smaller creatures. That doesn't work, though. I think I'm just going to Lembas, and we need to find like another cast down or Defile. No, Defile doesn't even do it, of course. Spinning Darkness does, actually. That's pretty good. I'm gonna wait to do these during their turn, just in case they have a Hydra as well. But we're gonna Snuff Out and Spinning Darkness this. They have every single boarding party in their deck. Lucky them. Rumble into Thunderhead Gunner. Discard a card, draw a card, activate only as a sorcerer, and only once each turn. That's an interesting one I haven't seen before. That's what they take. Well, we're going to Spinning Darkness a boarding party, snuff out an Altasaur, and we still go to 1. No, I guess we have Lembas, so we go to 4. They have a land, so they can also play this Gunner. 4/5 reach. Why aren't we playing Toxin Analysis for the Script Rats? I could play that for 2. I could play Avenging Hunter. Nothing saves us. That's pretty crazy luck, I must say. I do like Duresses when they're playing land destruction spells, because it can take those, it can take Rumbles, it can take ramp spells. They have a lot of targets. We don't need spell bombs. I'm going to cut Thorn and Avenger. Well, Avenging Hunter is a good way to take the initiative when they have already tried to take it. But Thorns we can cut. We want as much removal as possible. Crypt Rats are not great, I guess, because of the Panza. I might cut a couple of those. We don't want to just be spinning our wheels with card draw. Tithing Blades hit spawn and are really awkward, actually. Maybe we cut 2 of those, keep in one of the Crypt Rats. Campfire's not amazing, but it's okay. Don't think Fairy Macabre, Drown, or Weather are better, so... Alright, let's see if we can have just a more reasonable opponent. That was just outrageous. I mean, this is not a great hand. We have a cast down for an early guy. We have a Spinning Darkness we can't cast. We have a Campfire to gain some life, I guess. We have 3 lands. Any card draw spell's good. We'll keep it, but I'm not really excited about this. I will not be surprised if we lose. I just think it's just above mulligan worthy. We'll play a Garden and pass. They have the Sprawl to start. Well, we get another cast down. I'm just going to play a Garden. If they have a Thermokarst right away, I'd rather they blow up a Garden than my only swamp. They play a Repurposer, though. Well, we gotta play the swamp at some point, so we'll do that and play another Campfire. Hope they don't have any land destruction. Sprawl onto their land, and they blow up our swamp. I guess I'll activate Campfire. I could have cast down, but I just don't really like casting down a Repurposer. Oh, and I forgot to use the other Campfire on the end step. That's a bit of a bummer. We'll Lembas. I'll take a Haunted Mire, even though it's a tap land that probably gets blown up before I can use it. Let's pass. They play a Wildling. That is not the worst thing I could see here. Take another 3. Bajuka Bog is fine. Just play that and pass. I mean, land drops are good. I'll probably cast down the Wildling here so I take less damage, plus then maybe I can land the Hunter next turn if they don't have much else going on. I think I'm just saving these plants to block for when we have the Hunter, or the initiative rather. Wild Growth. That's all they got. Activate Campfire. We draw Duress. I mean, I think the chances their last card in hand is a spell is almost 0. It's probably a land or like a 7-drop they couldn't play last turn. Yeah, I don't think there's a reason to play it, because then I can't hold up Cast Down and double Campfire, which I'd like to do. I guess it would allow me to hold up Cast Down and Spinning Darkness at the same time, but I don't think I need that right now. Yeah, I figured it was probably an Altasaur, or it was this mountain. Either way. And of course, they hit the boarding party again, dude! Oh my god. Into Chrysalis. That's fun. I'm having a great time. Alright, we're blocking the boarding party here. Activating Campfire twice. Casting down the annoyed Altasaur. You get a Fanatical Offering. Guess I'll block, use that with my plants, then I can Spinning Darkness the boarding party. Block the Chrysalis. Go for the Offering. Defile. We're going to Spinning Darkness the party. Defile's only -1 right now, so I'm not using that. Doesn't make any sense. They have a Thermokarst. So I get a Crypt Rats. Play a Swamp. Playing a Crypt Rats doesn't really do that much for me. Not doing much else anyway, though. Let's just play it and pass. We're going to take 5, unless they want to pump it, which it looks like they do. They're going to make it 8. We'll activate Campfire. We get a land. Okay, so I can Avenging Hunter here, and then if they don't get Trample or Boarding Party or anything outrageous, then I get to block Hunter here, I get to chump block here, the next turn I have Forge onto Hunter, I also have a Defile for 3. So I could wait a turn until I could then have the Defile up at the same time. Maybe that's better. But I feel like that's just giving them more time to find things they need. So I don't know. They swing with both. I'm going to block. Alright, that worked. They might have like a Fiery Cannonade to kill this guy off. No, just a Wildling. I can Defile that. And a Repurposer. Okay, I can't Defile both of those. If I need to Forge onto this... Oh, this is going to be a 7-8 because of all these spawns. So I actually, even Forge doesn't let me block this. I got to Scry then. Lembas, Witch's Cottage. Witch's Cottage puts that on top. I don't have a way to draw it this turn. No, these don't cut it. Let's put them both on the bottom. Okay, we got a Crypt Rats. That's pretty good. Because I can block 3 damage to everything. This guy's just fine and dandy. That doesn't mean I can't attack with him now. I could attack. It's kind of risky, but I could attack. If they double block, I get to Defile one. And then I get to play the Crypt Rats as just a blocker. That's fine. Playing this. I need to activate it for 3. So yeah, we can't do anything else. We're going to attack for 5. Play Crypt Rats. Pass the turn. Swing with the team. We're going to block. Activate for 3 to wipe the board. Well, somewhat. Wipe the small guys. They make another spawn. They have Monvali, Acid Moss. Okay, we lose a swamp. I guess it's not the worst thing they could have had. Arena or Stash. We can really use the mana. So Stash. I can make this -2 because I've lost my lands. So it'd be a 5-6. So I still... Yeah, we got a Stash here. Fanatical Offering. Alright. What do I need? I'm gonna sacrifice a Campfire? No, a Lembas here. Because I might need this treasure. Double Defile makes this -4, which does let me block it, because it would be a 4-5. It lets me block it if I can map onto this and give my guy a boost. Duress. Put that into the graveyard. So it's a 6-5. If they attack, I can double Defile. If they don't have a trick, I can kill their guy. Okay, we're gonna pass. Block. Gonna Defile for -2. Then they're trading. So they're probably gonna sack their spawn. And then I'm gonna Defile again. They're no longer trading. Our guy eats theirs. That worked. What else do they have? Jewel Thief. Alright, not the worst. We get to make a 4-1. That's pretty good. We get a cast down, which means I get to attack. Let's sack this map, because I still might want the treasure more. We get a Lembas. Play that. We'll keep a troll. Swing for 6. Pass the turn. I could trade these if they get the initiative. I think we just cast this down. Maybe if they play an enormous creature, it's not worth it, but we also get to go to the Throne of the Dead 3. Okay, we held on and we won that one. Now we're on the draw again. It's gonna be tough. But let's give it a try. Alright, here we have kind of 2 lands. If they blow up our first land, though, we miss the next one and we're just dead. It's not even an amazing hand. It's like, the removal's decent, but it's so slow. I think we're gonna try for a hand with more lands. Yeah, this one's better. More lands and just less clunkiness. We're gonna get rid of the Campfire. They were okay before, but when we were really trying to hold on, we can't always find a time to use them, so I don't know. I think the Avenging Hunter, as we saw, could be really good if we can stabilize, so I'm gonna keep that. They have a Roost Seek, so we're not getting blown up this turn for a mountain. They might go for like a Rumble. No, nothing at all. Nice. Cast sounds good. We still have our next land, so I think we just play a Wellspring so that we have as much card draw as we can next turn. We'll see what happens. Jewel Thief. And no land drop, so they have all gas, but it's expensive. Let's draw a bunch, because I could get a tap land, or I could just hold up Cast Down. They could play like a 5-drop. No, I could get a Duress for like a Monvali Acid Moss if they didn't use that. Okay, we don't, but we do get a Snuff Out. We have this mana. I'm going to map onto this. If we get a land, great. If not, I'm going to definitely put that in the yard. We have 2 Cast Downs and I don't want to discard, so we are going to snuff this out. And I'm going to say there's probably no haste creature for less than the boarding party, so I'm going to attack for 1. We're doing okay. If they blow up our lands, I think we're going to be in a tough spot, though. Yep. because only playing 1/2 drop a turn is pretty unfortunate. I could reduce their mana with the Troublemaker. I think I'd rather just Lembas try to find another land. We already have 2 cast downs. Okay, we do find the swamp. We're going to pass now because I very well might chump block a boarding party. They're just going to keep blowing up our lands. Arbor Elf. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It doesn't even matter if I kill the Arbor Elf. They have 7 mana anyway. I guess I could oof. 6, 7. They still have 7 if I oof, but then I have another blocker, which means I could trade with like a boarding party. Am I going to survive at 2 mana though? Maybe. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to bargain this. Get rid of that wild growth. They could play an Annoyed Altasaur, but if they luck into the boarding party yet again, we can at least trade with it. Then I can cast down the Altasaur. If they also, cascade into an Avenging Hunter or something, we're certainly going to lose, but hoping that doesn't happen. There's 7 and an Altasaur into a Utopia Sprawl. Okay, I can live with that. We get another oof, so I could upgrade this plant and take that away. I don't think that makes the most sense. Although they're only at 6 mana now. Do I just cast this down and then just let them keep playing things? It's so tough. I think I got a Wellspring here. It also sets up if I want to oof the following turn. We do get a land, which is really nice. I just need 4 mana so badly. Like they keep keeping us off of 4, so I can like double spell out of all my 2 drops, and it makes it really tough. They have another Altasaur into an Arbor Elf. Okay. Double Altasaur is difficult. I chose not to kill it this time, which meant that I need to take a hit. But then if I cast one down, I'm definitely taking a hit from the next one. So I really need a land here, untapped, preferably. Okay. We maybe can survive. I could double cast these down. That's an option. I could go for an oof, taking the Sprawl, which does cut them off 3 mana. It puts them to still 8. They can still play whatever. But it lets me trade for an Altasaur if I really want to, and then cast down the other one. And it draws me a card. Although if I lose the Wellspring and all of these, then I'm not drawing cards off of these. I think I should probably just hold up the ability to double cast down / offering some chump blockers. Yeah. Yep. Well, nothing before, so I think we just have to cast these both down. If they had an Altasaur or something, they probably would have done it pre-combat, because then they could have had a boarding party. So if they don't, maybe they don't have anything to play, or maybe it's just a bigger thing, or medium thing without haste. Some Jewel Thieves, or Bannerhide Crew Shocks or something. I'm really worried this is the Vines of Vastwood kicked, which is going to make this 10 power, and yep, lethal. Which means I have to chump it, and I'm still taking a bunch of damage. Yeah, I didn't play around the vines. I'm pretty sure they had a green mana open even on our turn. They did, for sure. So it wouldn't have made a difference if I had tried to cast it on our turn. It would have. They would have not gotten +4/+4. And now they have a Chrysalis. And I'm dead to Arbor Elves as well. Well, that was bad. Now I need another cast down, which I've already used 2. I've already used a Snuff Out. I can't afford another Snuff Out, though. Oh, and they have more. Why not? Perfect. Duress after they've used their 2 Acid Mosses and their Vines of Vastwood. That's exactly what I wanted. I need 1, 2, 3 blockers and a removal spell. The best way to get that would be probably Fanatical Offering into another Colony Garden, a cast down, and I would need another blocker. No. Pretty sure I'm dead. I'll go for an offering here. I probably should have left up the green, but we do get a cast down. We do get a garden. Block, block. I mean, if they don't attack with the 2 Arbor Elves, we actually can survive for a turn. Or if they don't get another Haste Guy or whatever, Okay, alright, whatever. We got a 3-2. Pretty reasonable with the deck. I legitimately think both of those losses were just some of the most unlucky games I've ever played. It was against Red-Blue Serpentine Curve. They played fine, I'm not saying I'm not disparaging our opponent's play or anything. I'm just saying, we didn't see that Avenging Hunter in Game 2 until the last 3 cards of the deck. We didn't see a Thorn of the Black Rose until the last 20. In Game 1, I don't think we saw either of those at all. And those were really what we needed. Of course, we only run 3 in the deck, of course, but we run so much card draw and selection to try to find them. So not finding them is pretty tough, since that was really what we needed in that match. In this one, game 3 wasn't quite as much of like, oh, they always have exactly what they need, but they still drew the boarding party right at the end. They like had all this stuff. And game 1, they just had 4 boarding parties, and I try not to tilt, but those games were crazy unlucky. So, in any case, still a 3-2 with a very unlucky league, I think is pretty reasonable. Deck's pretty decent. I do feel like we were missing out on lands. Of course, we have 21 sources with the trolls. I think, based on this league, although, again, maybe it was more of the unluckiness, I would probably go up to 22, add another swamp in here, and drop maybe a Tithing Blade. Yeah, I think Tithing Blade's probably the one to cut here. Everything else I kind of like the numbers of. Tithing Blade's not bad, but I think that would make the game, the league, the match, the deck, I cannot speak. I think that would make the deck a lot more cohesive and make it actually play well, because it just felt like, of course we're looking for lands in the early turns, but it felt like every single game, our whole game plan was find lands for the next 4 turns or whatever. And with 22 sources, hopefully that won't happen in the future. In any case, I hope you enjoyed this league, even if I wasn't at my best. Thank you so much to my supporters, including my monthly $10 and up supporters, including Howard Granger, Rafa Rodriguez, JD NPX, Adam Cadmon, Apple Beta Pie, Halcaz, Cody Cowell, and Sty. I really appreciate the support, and I will see you all next time.